Hello, and welcome to this Dojo 360 training. I look forward to helping you learn the basics of Dojo 360 today. To get you up and running, we are adding new tools and features every single day, so we can definitely set up more advanced trainings after you are comfortable with the basics of the product. Let's jump into the Dojo 360 deck now, so you can see how easy it is to run a presentation and share information in the software. First of all, what is Dojo 360? It's a cloud-based holistic learning engagement platform that gives you a single space to create, facilitate, and measure learning content, interactivity, and engagement. Dojo 360 is designed to make creation and collaboration easy. Dojo 360 can be used to increase engagement in a variety of learning environments: live, in-person classes, remote sessions, or self-paced assignments. Let's look at Dojo 360 in action. Here's an example of a multiple choice slide. I'm going to open polling down here at the bottom left corner, and you will be able to see, since we are in preview mode, some responses coming in on the top left corner. You can see these simulated responses here, as well as in the live results that are being populated. As an instructor, you can look at the live results. You can also choose to look at the results after polling is closed or not have any results showing at all. This is just a great way to be able to determine, do I want my results to show in class in a live real-time setting or after my students and learners have answered the question? Then I can share the results after the data and not look at the results in real time, look at them only in the reports later. These are my options. I also have, as an instructor, another option to look at the results in a different form. Right now, we're looking at a list form. I could choose bar to look at the live results coming in with bar charts. I can also choose a word cloud, which is my favorite, and it shows you the dynamic of these answers coming in. I can also look at a pie chart if I choose that type. And so you have a lot of options as an instructor. You also have the option down here at the bottom to look at the countdown timer. If you think that your learners will need to be reminded to respond, if maybe they are taking their time, they're not responding in real time as quickly as you'd like them to, you could set a countdown timer just like this. And as you can see, the countdown timer is going down to 0. And once it hits 0, it will close the polling for you. And that will be when the answers are locked in. And as you can see, we have our answers. Now, you have an option to reopen your polling if you need to. If you want to capture those results again, if maybe you closed polling too soon, that is just another option, because sometimes it does happen where we might click too soon and we still want to gather all that data. So it's important to have that option to repoll. Next slide, we have a very awesome question. This is our hotspot question. This is an option that you have. You can see the results in real time as well, and any image you choose can be turned into a hotspot question. You could have one specific area that is the correct answer, or the entire image can be a hotspot where there's not one specific correct answer, as in this example. I'm going to click open, and as you can see, the answers are coming in real time. You could also choose, if you'd like to, not show those results. That way, your audience might not be swayed then by others' responses. It's a great way to have your audience actively engaged, as well as, changing it up from a regular question. Once you close polling, you'll be able to see where your learners all responded. And in this case, they could have chosen any of these cups of coffee that they would prefer. Not just one would be the correct answer, although I do have my correct answer, which would be right here in the center. Let's move to the next slide. Now, this slide is an example of just how you could insert a video and share videos in your presentations within Dojo 360. You can incorporate videos in your presentations as well, in your classes, your assignments, or your live presentations. Now, at Turning, we keep the 3 E's in mind when we create our products, and Dojo360 is no exception. It is our job to ensure that all learners have access to Dojo360 and that instructors can provide evidence-based learning, progress, and outcomes. Being engaged is the best way to keep learners focused and having fun at the same time, and Dojo makes it very easy. So now we are going to look at our goals and objectives for today's training. After today, my goal is that you understand the basics of Dojo. You're able to leave with an idea of how to create courses, classes, and content in Dojo360. And you'll also be able to integrate Dojo360 into your classes for engagement purposes and for assessment purposes. You will also be able to view the analytics and student progress in Dojo360 today. So at Turning, we like to break all of our trainings down into 3 different segments. So here's today's agenda. We break it down into the before, during, and after segments. So today, before class, as an instructor, we're going to cover all of the things that you would need to do. So you need to create a course. You need to add learners to that course. You need to create a class and content or a Dojo360 deck. And then we're going to also talk about how you can schedule an assignment. In the during class segment, we're going to open our course, adjust our class settings, and start a class. And then after the class is complete, we are going to go into the after class segment to view our results, and I will show you how to export reports. So this is the end of the slide deck. So I'm going to click exit on the bottom left corner here, end the class. We were just in preview mode, which is an awesome way. As an instructor, you would have the option to practice your presentation, practice running through, going through the flow to make sure that it's exactly the way you want it to be. We're going to jump into the actual platform now, and we were in preview mode, so we're going to go up to the top left corner to the courses tab here. First, we're going to be here in our course space. This is where you'll come to find your courses that you've created, or you could create a new one. Everything within Dojo360 is organized by courses. So you can create a new course or import a course if you want to, if you are integrated with a learning management system. So these are all of your options. So let's click New Course at the top. This is how you would do it. And then we have our options here, like I just mentioned. You could import for a learning management system. And over here on the drop-down menu, you have the 3 different learning management systems available. And then you also have the option to create new, which is what we will do today for today's training. So we'll call this a Dojo360 training. That's our course. Create. Okay, so now we have created our course name. Once you click into that course, you will see the course dashboard. So that's where we are right now. When you land in Dojo360, you'll be at the courses space, and that's where you create your course. And once you are in that course, you are in the course dashboard. Okay, this is everything you need to set up, launch, and track your course right here. The tabs on the top right corner can help you navigate where you are and where you want to go next. So up here at the top right, like I said, we can see details, classes, assignments, results, and roster. So before we get into the goods of creating our actual content and our deck and adding our learners, we need to edit our course, and we are in details now, so that's where we will do that. Now, like I said, the details tab is where we are now. You can edit your course information. You could add instructors to collaborate, and you could add a cover image. And we do have over 1 million royalty-free stock images that you can choose from when it comes to adding your cover image, as well as your own personal assets that you may have already uploaded, or anything from your computer that you have saved. You could search and add that as your cover image. So let's go ahead to edit. Pretty simple. we are adding our course name. We could adjust it if we want to. We already added that course name when we actually created the course, but we could make an adjustment if we want to now. We can add a description. So this is a training course for Dojo 360. So you can put whatever your training course name is. And a course is kind of the umbrella, the overarching umbrella of the classes. For example, if you have a course called New Employee Onboarding as your course, some of the different classes you may have later that you'd like to add, which I'll show you in a moment, would be human resources, paperwork classes, or something that has to do with sexual harassment training, policies, procedures. You could have different classes under that overarching umbrella of new employee onboarding. So for this one, this is a dojo training course. And then we could also add some different instructors that we'd like to add that can collaborate with us on this course, which is really a nice option because sometimes you don't want to reinvent the wheel, and it's nice to have the option to share content with other instructors. And I know this is something that people we've discussed Dojo 360 with in the beginning phases were very, very excited about. And this is definitely a need and a want as well. So now that we have instructors added and we have our course name and description, we will go to add cover image. And as I said, when we click add cover image, we have a couple options. So we have our assets, which I have right here. These are my assets that I already have or things that were shared with me as an instructor. And then I have the option to upload some type of cover image. And then I have the option to use stock images. Okay. Let's see if we put in training. We are calling this a training course. We'll just kind of select an option that kind of looks like it would be a training course. Not personal training, but training. So this kind of looks like someone's training, and I think that would be a perfect fit for our cover image for the course. Now this could always be changed and edited as you know. So we could go ahead and click Save Now. And now we are going to jump into the roster tab where you can actually enroll your learners in the course. You could either manually add learners from a list or a bulk upload. That you could also invite new learners or import and sync your rosters from a learning management system. All of your learners can be managed up here on the top right on the roster tab. So let's go up there right now. And it says you don't have any learners yet. So we don't. We need to get our learners added. And these are people that you want to be able to join your trainings so that they can learn everything that you're about to teach them. So we'll go to new learner at the top. And then if you already have eligible subscribed learners that you've already, maybe worked with in your class and in your organization, you could actually enroll them into your course. So I'm going to enroll a couple different people now. I'll enroll myself. I'll enroll, let's see, just a couple of my coworkers, which will be fun for them they'll get the notification, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to enroll those people. These are some eligible learners here. I'm going to click invite and they're going to be invited to my course. Now I have another option. If I want to, here's a drop-down menu. These are all learners, active learners, and pending learners. So once they get this invitation, they'll be asked to create an account if they haven't yet. And if they have created an account already, they will be able to have access to the course once it's ready to go. Now I'm going to add another new learner, but in this type of learner will be someone that is not already subscribed and eligible. This will be someone new that I'm going to invite. Now I have an option, like I said earlier, to include the email addresses of many people, and I could use commas or spaces in between. I could copy and paste from a CSV, but in this case, I'm just going to add one of my coworkers, and we'll invite him. So his invitation has been sent. Select close, And now I have my learners ready to go. Now that my learners are all enrolled or invited, I'm going to head to the classes tab, which is also in the top right corner up here. And at this point, you are ready to create a class. Okay, so like I said earlier, that over umbrella course can include several classes within that course. So right now we're in the Dojo360 training course. That's the overarching course. And then I can create several classes. Okay, so let's create a class called Dojo360. We'll just call this basics. Okay, so this is my basics class. And once I create my name, I could do a couple different things. I could set up a start and end time and a duration as well. And I also here can choose how I'm going to run the class. Okay, so I have options here. I'm able to set up a live class that is instructor led within this, within this course. I could be in person, I could be remote, or it could be a combination. This actually gives you the opportunity to have synchronous instructor-led courses, classes, scheduled out classes. I could use a virtual classroom or a live class player, which I will be doing today. I could also schedule out classes for people to make up work that maybe they missed if they couldn't join my class. And within the virtual classroom, you have options for an interactive whiteboard, you have breakout rooms, you can do chat, you can share screens and webcams, you could record the session. That is if you would like to do a virtual classroom setting. You also have the option to use Gotomeeting because we have an integration with Gotomeeting if you want to use that platform. If you choose none, that is going to be what we're going to do today, which I'm demonstrating, which we demonstrated earlier on when we started off. You are able to use that class player, and that's a live class player where we can actually run the class like I am, sharing screens, and you can also do this where you're projecting your screen in front of a live classroom. So you have so many options with Dojo360. So now that we have our class name and we looked at some of these settings here that we can set up now, we're going to go in and click add. And once you click add, you're going to have the same options you had in the previous screen if you'd like to set it up now. You could also just add your content or a Dojo Deck, which is a group of slides that can include uploaded PowerPoints, text, audio, images, videos, interactive slides for polling and assessments, or just for engagement. So these are all available within Dojo360 as a deck. It's called a deck. So decks are editable, shareable, reusable learning objects that you can use for your presentations. Keep in mind, like I said, you can upload content PowerPoint presentation that can be mobile responsive, and you have your presentations built and you can upload them and add questions and add videos, everything right within Dojo360 here in this deck. So right now, instead of setting all of my settings up for my class, I'm going to first add my deck. Now, if you click add, you can do many different things here. You can go in and create a brand new deck from scratch, or you can use a deck that you've already used. Maybe you have some great content, you'd like to add some questions to it, enhance it, and share it with your learners. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this deck right here that I've already created. So I have some great slides. Like I said, why reinvent the wheel? I have options here. So I can look at this deck and I could go ahead and click the edit button here. And it's going to allow me to see my slides. Okay, so I have one slide here. And these are like slides like you would call a slide in a PowerPoint presentation. You can see an image, you can have text, you can also scroll down here and look at multiple choice questions with correct answers, or you could have a hotspot question. You also have an option to, like I said, upload PowerPoint slides. So this was a history presentation and I uploaded it. It actually comes up and it integrates right in and it is in order, but you could include to some actual comprehension questions or engagement questions in between. So I have all of my content ready. I have a multiple select question as well. But maybe I want to add more. Maybe I don't want just the kind of questions that I have already in the slideshow. So I can go and you could hover below or above any of the slides to add, and you can add any of these question types as you see here. And then you could also add a presentation. If you wanted to add more presentation slides, you could. So let's select that presentation. I'm going to click add content. So I'm going to go to our stock images and I'm going to insert a picture of fall, since it's fall right now, happens to be when I'm recording this. All right, so we have a beautiful picture of fall, pretty leaves. And I could say, enjoy this beautiful image in between questions. All right, so that's considered a presentation slide. Any of our presentation options, you could include a video, you could include any type of image or, another full presentation if you wanted to add some more deck slides in. Now let's go ahead and add a multiple choice to show how easy it is to create one. So we can do a basic, how are you today type of question. Easy, no actual correct answer. And when you go in to add your answers, you have the option to insert an image, insert audio. You can insert videos as your answer options, tables, ordered lists, unordered lists, equations, and horizontal line. You could do the same thing when you're creating the question as well. So when you go in to create your question, it'll give you that same plus sign. I already have one that's a text question. So let's go ahead and just type in our answer options. You have up to 10 answer options that you can type in. So we'll type in fine. We'll type in great. We'll type in happens sometimes, and hungry. And you could also, like I said, have up to 10. I'll add one more. Right. So we have our answer options. For this question, we do not have any correct answer. We don't have to worry about adding any type of points. It's not a scored question because this is more for just engagement. But we can go ahead, we'll skip down and let's add another question. This time we will do a multiple choice question again, but this time it'll have a correct answer. So let's ask the question. Does Halloween? All right, so we could add our months. All right, and we know we have a correct answer here, October. We could add different point values if we want to. And boom, we have our question. We have our correct answer, and we are ready to go with points. So those are two different types of questions. Let's add one more. We will add a hotspot because that is a very popular question type. People love it. Go ahead and select hotspot once you hover, and then we'll add our image first. We'll go to stock images, and let's go ahead and choose a map. Let's see what we come up with here. Okay, let's see all of the options for a map. And we'll just choose this picture here. Any picture you choose can turn it into a hotspot question. All right, so let's go to edit hotspot. My question on this picture will be, where are the glasses? So we'll go ahead and click save. We have chosen our image. We have chosen our hotspot, and then I will ask, where are the glasses? We have our specific question, and we could add points if we want to, since it does have a correct answer. So as you can see, we have now created a couple different questions. We have a hotspot, we have a couple multiple choice, and we also have some that are in our slide deck as well from before that were, you could always adjust and edit. And if you want to, you have the option to go up and preview on the top right to see if everything looks the way you want it to look. Over on the left, you can set up your options to give them the learners actually different attempts, how many different attempts you'd like to give them to do this work. You also have the option to have the answer order in a fixed option or random option order so that the answers are not the same every time. This is great for, having your learners, if they're taking this in a different time period, if they're using this as an assignment, if you're using it as an assignment instead of in real time, you can have them take this assessment or take this assignment at their own pace during a certain scheduled time period, of course, and they will have different answer options, different answer rand order, same options. Now you have options up here to look at the different views: desktop, table portrait, landscape, mobile, and mobile landscape. So it's neat to be able to see those options as well when you do the preview. So you would just simply go through, you could check to make sure everything looks the way you want it to, and that's what preview's all about. You have a nice option to just kind of get a look at what your learners will see. So let's get out of the preview mode. So now that we have created our content, our deck, we have already added our learners, we have created our class and our course, we are good to go when it comes to that before segment. So now what we'll do is we need to jump into our during segment. So let's go back to if we go to the back button on the top left, we're going to go back to our course space, and we have our course ready to go. So this is what you would do in the during segment. You're going to open up your Dojo360 after logging in, and you'll come to this course space. Once you're in the course space, you're going to go up to the tile. So this is our Dojo360 training. We're going to open that course. We're in the course now. We have our edited course, our names, our instructors, everyone that's ready to go. And then we're going to go up to our roster and verify we have all of our learners ready to go. And it looks like we do. And now we'll select classes. So this is our first class in our Dojo360 training course. And we can go ahead, and here are some of the options. We can edit, delete, preview, copy the link. Copying the link's great because you can actually send that link out to your students or your learners. And they will also be able to, during the time period of your class, whether it's scheduled at a certain time or if you're live, they would just log into their Dojo360 account so that they can actually see this class and take an active part. So you would be able to click the start option as well. You can expand and take a quick view of the class as well, make sure everything's set up. And we could run it live right now by clicking start. And it's going to give you a view of the class lobby. So what you would do, you can look over on the slide on the far left corner and you can see all the learners. Since this is live, my learners are not joining. This is actually just a kind of a demonstration of how to run your class after you've created it. So we have the option, you will see all of your learners here. You will see your chat options to chat with your learners. And you have the option then to go ahead and start your class. This is the class lobby. It gives you all the details. If you go to start class, it's going to take you from slide to slide. You could have a preview of your slides by selecting slides on the top left, so you could kind of prepare for what's next. You have the option to just go ahead from slide to slide, opening and closing polling. Obviously, we don't have real people in right now, so you won't be able to see, but you did get to see it in the demonstration earlier. So you would open and close polling. You could incorporate your countdown timer and live results and the different options for results as well. This is a great way just to give you an idea of the during segment. So you would go from question to question and continue progressing through opening and closing polling. Here's that. Are you ready to learn today? Yes and nope. And like I said, you can use images as your answers for the questions. And once you've gone through your deck, beautiful pictures, all of the content and questions that you've covered, maybe someone joins late or wants to join and doesn't have the link. You could click the link, send that link to that person if they haven't created their account, or you want them to join. You have a lot of options from this instructor view. So here's your option for your hotspot. You would click, you would see all of the results here, and it's a great way to practice by going through, have some of your colleagues that are, you could add them as learners, have them practice with you so you can see what it looks like in real time. So once you get to the end of your presentation, up on the top right, it gives you an idea as well. You have a lot of places that will show you pretty much where you are, what's next, which is what I like, because sometimes I think, how many more slides do I have? So it's nice to have that option up on the top right corner, as well as having the view of the slides. I like to be able to see what is coming. I also like to be able to see my learners and be able to send them a chat, or if they have questions, they can chat with me. It's a nice way. This is the instructor view. The learners will not be able to see this side of my screen. Only I as an instructor will, which is an important thing to think about. So now that I am done, I'm going to select exit on the bottom left corner, and I'm ready to end my class. Class has ended. It gives you that nice indication. So now we are done with our during segment. So really the during segment's very short. You're typically just running the session, going from one slide to the next, and lecturing with your class, your learners, talking to them via chat if you need to. And if they're in the room with you in a live setting, you would be able to talk to them. If they're in the virtual classroom with you and you're sharing the same content, you're able to talk and chat with them. If they're in the Gotomeeting, you're able to do the same thing as well. So lots of options when you're presenting in the during segment. Now we're heading into that final segment, which is the after segment, where you can view the results and export the results if you need to. So once you end your class, it gives you the option to view results or close the tab. Now I'm going to click view results. Now, of course, we just did a demonstration practice to show you what it would look like as an instructor, but we don't have a real audience right now. But I did want to let you know that you can view your results by question and by detail. So right here, you can also choose to only look at the question slides, because you don't really need to look at the presentation slides because they don't have answers on them. So obviously, or responses. So you'll be able to see these responses and how your audience responded. It'll tell you how many points, how many responses, how many correct responses. It'll also show you that correct answer as well for the question slides. And in this deck, we only had a couple of question slides that had correct answers or had answered. And right here, you could also view all learners or specific learners. So you can look at a question by the detail or question by question, but you could also look at specific learners if you want to. Now, looking at the detailed learners, you don't actually have any here, but you would be able to see all of the detailed learners and how they responded. Now I'm going to go to back. And it's going to give me this screen as well for more results. We can look at the results here, and it gives you the option to look at the results by looking at points or percentages, because we all have preferences on what we'd like to see. We see our rostered learners. We see the option to look at guests or those who are rostered. We could view all sessions or all assignments. We could also look at different classes as well. specific classes. So we could export our reports to a CSV, and you'll be able to view those reports in that form and share them with others. But as I said, if you have a course that you've added instructors to, they will have access to be able to, share some content with you, and you can share the results with them as well. The last thing I want to cover is assignments. Maybe you had some students that were absent. To create an assignment, this is something that can be scheduled out. Like I said, maybe you had some absent learners, absent people from your office that you were trying to train, or absent students from your class. You could go to new assignment, and we're going to 360 basics makeup assignment. Now, you need to have a start date and an end date. So we'll start that today, 10:53 a.m. and an end date, which would be, they have to do it by tomorrow, November 20th at 12 a.m. Click add. And now, as an instructor, this is what I would do. I have my start date and my end date and my time. Okay. I could give them more than one attempt, but if I didn't give my real-time students more than one, I probably wouldn't do the same for an assignment. If I gave my real-time students more than one attempt, then I would, try to keep it the same. And the answer order, same thing. I would keep it the same that I, made it for my in real-time class. This is something that's going to be scheduled out for those specific students that missed it. And lastly, you have result settings here to show solutions, so show scores and show results. The last part is important when it comes to an assignment. Do you want to share this assignment with everybody? Probably not, because maybe you have just specific learners you'd like to assign it to that were absent. If you want to, you could share it with the whole roster and send them a homework assignment. It might not be something that is for makeup. Maybe you want to assign them something, which, I plan on doing that for my classes, assigning them, a survey coming up soon. So it's something you could do. You could send it out to the whole entire organization, a training that you want everyone to do at their own pace from a certain time period to another certain time period. But in this case, I'm only going to assign it to specific learners. So I'm not going to assign it to Kristen. She was here. That's myself. And Dave, I will not assign it to Dave. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to update and only have this select 3 learners selected specifically. So those are my assigned learners. Okay, so I'm going to introduce this to them by just saying, I hope you feel better. Please complete this assignment by November 20th. Thank you, Kristen. Okay, now the most important part is choosing your assignment. So we want to be consistent and give the same assignment. So I'm clicking add or create a deck. I'm going to use the same one that we just did. And I'm going to then make sure it has everything I need it to have. It has my hotspot questions. It has all my slides. And then I'm going to click save up here. And then I'm going to click assign. Now my students can sign into their accounts, or I can go ahead and copy this link and send it out to them so that they can actually take the assignment and get the credit for it since they were not able to join my class. This could be done for coworkers as well. It could be done for anyone that you want to share an assignment with that already took place, or it could go, end up being a brand new assignment that you want to share with anybody. It could be a survey. It could be whatever you'd like to, kind of content you'd like to share with others, and they would have that certain time frame to actually do the assignment. So now that we've done that, we're going to head back to the courses page. Thank you for your attention today. I appreciate you watching this training, and I hope it was helpful to get you up and running. And please always feel free to contact us at Turning for extra help, and look forward to many more videos like this that you can refer to when it comes to using our platforms. Thank you very, very much and have a wonderful and safe day.